What's going on, everybody? GemMint here, back again with another Berserk Deluxe Edition review. We got Volume 9 here. As of this recording, this is the most recent one, so we just recently caught up with Volume 8. Now we're on Volume 9, and this is an explosive volume, man. You get the Berserker armor, you get the trolls, which is disturbing, and so many huge epic battles here. An important volume. We're gonna jump into this, but make sure you hit that subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, and I really want to thank Dynamite Entertainment for sponsoring the video. You know, we've been working really closely with Dynamite, doing variant covers, doing auctions together, doing live shows together. Make sure to go swing onto their YouTube channel and hit that subscribe and hit that notification bell as well for all the latest news on all their properties, whether it's Vampirella, Red Sonja, Army of Darkness, or The Boys. Make sure to go show them some love, and let's jump into Volume 9. All right, guys, here we go. Deluxe Edition number 9. This is a pivotal volume here. Like I said, Berserker armor, those damn trolls. Everything looks great. I did feel like mine was smoother than the other volumes. It didn't feel like it had that texture as much, so I wasn't really into that. Real quick, let's take a look at the posters. So right off the top, we got a troll. Then we have Shirky with, I always forget her mistress's name, the witch. Help me in the comments, yo. Then we have Berserker armor poster. It's kind of weird. I got to go back and forth. Then this is everybody chilling, I think, by the witch's treehouse. Sepulchre, Farnese, everybody hanging out. Then we have the Emperor Ganishka with his demons. That's cool. And then lastly, we have Lady Farnese and Shirky teaching her about magic, right? So let's jump into it. By Kentaro Miura, of course. This is volumes 25, 26, and 27. Here's the table of contents for volume 25. We're still in the Falcon of the Millennium Empire arc. It's the Holy Evil War chapter, and here's everything that's involved. So if you guys remember, at the end of volume 24 from the Deluxe Edition 8, Serpico uses his blade for the first time, cutting the demons or the trolls in half. So that's when he is starting to get comfortable with the magical powers that he's been given, like this cloak that helps him fly, and the feathered sword, like I said, that can use wind as a weapon. So this is the climax of the trolls invading the village that they're in, and Lady Farnese, like, you forget how different she is from when she was first introduced as the leader of the Iron Chain Knights, right? So she protects Casca in kind of instead of herself, right? So that's kind of a big change for her, and that's going to be shown a few times throughout this volume. Awesome scene of Guts jumping in and fighting the trolls, and we learned something interesting about his sword in this volume that I didn't really pick up upon the first read. Even during the last review that I did, it's like, dang, why didn't Guts take that magical axe that they were trying to give him? And it's kind of explained here. I don't know if we'll get to it, but all the dead apostles and demons on his blade, here it is, that's what's giving it like kind of magical power. So he does kind of have an enchanted blade just because of how many demons and things that he's killed with it. So this is when Shirky tries to cast a big spell. It's going to be the biggest spell that she's ever attempted because the trolls continue to come in, and she has this big battle with the priest who doesn't want to let her use magic on top of the church, on this holy place. He feels like it goes against God. So that's kind of like an interesting little debate. And again, the trolls are just ruthless. They get even worse throughout this volume. Right here, they're just killing and fighting, but it gets worse. So all the villagers and everyone else except for Shirky and Farnese, Casca, and Guts go inside of the church, and you can see Serpico here jumping, flying, astonishing the villagers. Trolls are now on the roof as well, so that's where the priest is like, yo, we're either gonna die or I'm gonna let her cast this spell. Now this is Isidro finally learning, right? He's learning to use his attributes as a benefit in fighting, him being low to the ground, him having the shorter blade, and he finally kills a troll. And it's funny how big-headed he gets because of that in here. All right, here goes Shirky doing her magic thing, basically calling on the one of the gods of the lake or something that used to be worshipped on this land. So it's pretty epic. It's almost like a Final Fantasy VII summon, and everyone can see the magic that she's casting. It's like obviously pretty mind-blowing. Even the priest, he's having a hard time wrapping his mind around it. But she kind of explains to them that like God and what you believe in, it's all the same stuff. It's just called by different things. It's the same gods, the same beings. Now what's happening is here, now we start to get an ogre comes through. So it's kind of like we learned throughout this volume that there's a couple of things that are causing the real world and the astral world to mix. One of them being the branded ones being so close together, and the other one being the appearance of Griffith, which is like basically a god. So it's causing more and more of that astral world, is it the ethereal world, to come in. Now, her spell protects against any kind of magic, but throwing man-made things is going to damage the church as well. So that's kind of where they get in trouble. Then we get the introduction of another villain. So we have an ogre, and then we have this, I'm trying to see the name, I don't remember it off the top. Guts calls Shirky boss. That's funny. She likes that. He trusts her. He sees her power. Amazing artwork here. Guts versus the ogre. Where is the name of that water monster? I feel like I have it on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, the ogre regenerates. A kelpie, that's what it is. So it's a frog horse that has water-based magic. And then a storm is rolling in, so that's when it's going to be at its strongest. I'm telling you, man, Final Fantasy VII vibes. Not that Berserk stole it from them. They came out first. I think Final Fantasy was more inspired by Berserk, if anything. Here's Shirky noticing that Serpico is mastering the magic items that he's been given. He's super confident with it too, man. So now we got a 2-on-2 battle. You got Guts and the ogre. Then you got Serpico and the whatever I just called it, Kelpie. So awesome battle here, guys. So here's Isidro. He's kind of mad that he's not really able to do anything. I might have spoke too soon on Isidro. I think he fails against that troll, but he's got redemption later on in this volume. So pretty cool battle. It feels like a turn-based battle. Serpico has to figure out how to beat the Kelpie, which he ends up doing. Here's Shirky calling on the river goddess to basically wash all the trolls away. And here we go, the big flood scene. Now the problem with the flood, it does get rid of the enemies, and Serpico uses wind to remove the water shield from the Kelpie, allowing him to kill it. But the problem is that Farnese and Casca, they fall off into the river. Shirky kind of gets stuck in this astral plane, and they have to use a magic wand to tap on the ground to kind of get her back to reality. Otherwise, she can get lost in the astral plane. Now here's where Casca and Farnese fall into the river. Shirky guides that goddess hand to send them the tree bark so they don't drown. The problem is they get carried away by the trolls. Now once we get to the trolls' lair, I gotta be really careful on what I show here, because it's like not safe for work. Isidro feels like shit because he wasn't really able to do anything. This is where he gets the smaller blade. So yeah, the old man that risked his life to save Isidro gives him his blade that's smaller. So when he fights the trolls later on, he ends up doing better. So I was ahead of myself there in the beginning. So they're looking for Casca and Farnese, and they see this little crazy little creature. So now they know they're kind of crossing planes into the troll's lair. Yeah, here's where they're explaining how the appearance of Griffith is also what's causing the overabundance of demons and monsters and apostles. So here's where they're kind of into like the evil layer. What's it called? Quiploth or something like that? So Casca and Farnese, they're kind of protected against magic with the silver chainmail that they're wearing. But they're in this troll's lair, and the troll has all the women and children from the village, killing them and doing even worse things. And it definitely freaks the hell out of Farnese and Casca here. Yeah, I gotta skip ahead because some of it's just way too graphic, man. So now Shirky is able to speak with them telepathically, finding out where they are, and they're gonna be on their way to rescue them. Here's where they show up. I'm skipping pages, guys, because it's like super graphic. Alright, so Guts comes through, starts busting heads with his crossbow, and then Guts now fighting the trolls again, but in their lair. Now we're about to have a really dope scene at the end of this here. So what's going to happen is they're going to leave Guts behind to hold off the trolls while Shirky saves everyone else. Here you see Guts starting to kind of get into Berserker rage mode. Here he goes against the trolls. He's like, man, it's going to be another 100-man death. Scratch that, 100 troll death. So all this death and destruction is calling on one of the members of the God Hand, and you can see who she is. She actually takes the forms of all the dead trolls and to make herself physical in this world. So here we go, Slan taking form here. And now we have this big Slan versus Guts battle. She's just toying with him, man. She's not even really trying to fight him or hurt him. She just really wants to feel something, like, you know, stick your sword through me and stuff like that. And then we get our boy Skull Knight through here. So I feel like in this volume, in these chapters, is where we start to learn a lot more about who Skull Knight can possibly be. Because right away, Slan calls him Your Majesty. So we know he has some kind of royal background to him, and then we're going to find out even more later. Slan calls on multiple orcs to come through, and then we have the trolls now advancing on Isidro and them, and they have human tools which they can hurt them with since they're not having to use magic. Epic fight here. Skull Knight OP. Guts landing the final blow on Slan, but not that she's really hurt or anything. Here goes Isidro. It's time to shine. He uses his advantage and his speed and his short height to take down, like, the king troll, if you will. The Guts versus Slan interaction is great, man. So here goes Isidro. I did it. And you're going to see him after the fight. He just continually kind of, like, flaunting that he was able to take down that troll. This was a cool move by Skull Knight. So he takes his sword, sticks it down his throat, pulls it up, and it's made out of all, like, behelets or behelets. And if you remember, he swallows them when he steals them from the apostles. So it was cool to see, like, the reasoning behind that. And then it's essentially able to cut through space and time and allow them to kind of teleport in a sense. So that's how they end up getting back to the rest of the crew here. And now we're safe. Rescued them out of the troll's lair. And Guts realizing, like, he's got his new band, right? He's the Band of the Hawk is dead. Griffith is reforming it, but now he's kind of doing his thing here. Going back here to the witch and showing that Skull Knight was that figure she was talking to in the shadows before, and kind of explaining that she's going to give Guts the Berserker armor. So that's the first time we see it. Skull Knight knows what that's all about. It seems like he was just like a dude like Guts. Maybe he was a king in the past and went down this whole kind of fighting demons and apostles path. And I don't know if he has Berserker armor or some kind of similar thing here. Guts is injured, not in the physical, but in the spiritual form, which is another reason why he's going to end up needing the Berserker armor. This is where he kind of tells Shirke that he just battles Slan, and she's like mind blown. Now the problem is, it's the Kushan, Emperor Ganishka's army, destroying the witch's treehouse here. So she was dying anyway. They get there just in time to kind of witness that. Griffith's new Band of the Hawk shows up. Everyone, man. Zod, Grunbeld, the Lancer, the Archer. And we have this amazing battle between the giant Grundle and Guts. The death of the Mistress. The Berserker armor chilling. I like how it's got that skull helmet at first. And we'll see that transformation. So this is basically with the witch telling Shirke she needs to get Guts the Berserker armor. He's not going to be able to hold it down much longer. He's getting his ass kicked by Grundle. Is it Grundle or Grunbeld? Skull Knight's going to fight Zod. I'm telling you, man, this volume is action-packed, man. Epic stuff here. So here we go. They found the Berserker armor, a dangerous fetish. Here it is right here. And, you know, Guts just continuing to take punishment. The golems up here to try to help out a little bit. It's really just a distraction. Shirke telepathically lets Guts know, look, I got something for you. Finally gets to that little area. Get the Berserker armor onto Guts. And now it's on like Donkey Kong. He's got the Berserker armor, and we start to learn a lot about it. First of all, he moves quick as hell, destroys this apostle, no problem. And this is how it looks at first. And now Guts ready to take on Grunbeld. So we're learning that the Berserker armor, it cuts off the feeling of pain. So he doesn't feel pain at all anymore, but his body is still taking damage. Now the Berserker armor will fix your body, but you're still bleeding out. Also, what it's doing is unleashing his inner beast. So that beast that's been teased throughout takes form here. It changes the helmet to the form of the Berserker armor that we're familiar with, and Guts fights like a feral animal. I mean, hence the term Berserker, you know? So he starts fighting Grunbeld, and man, now Guts has the upper hand. Now, it doesn't get expounded upon on this volume, but we end up learning more risks of wearing the Berserker armor, not just the toll that it has on his body, but we'll get to that later. Is this the end? Nope, this is the end of the battle with Grunbeld. And it's showing that Guts will get his bones broken, but the Berserker armor will set it all back into place. Yeah, that's right. Grunbeld goes full apostle mode here. The dragon, the fire dragon apostle mode. So Guts still has to fight him, but he's able to cut his skin and everything. Here's Guts' arms being broken, or limbs. Here's the scene right here, and it sets it back straight. He doesn't feel the pain. But, I mean, he'll deal with it later, though, for sure. But Guts able to do his thing against the apostles here. So Shirke has to go into the astral form to try to bring Guts back, similar to how they had to bring Shirke back from the astral form, because he's basically being engulfed in Berserker mode here. So she sees him, she sees his memories in there as well, she sees the eclipse. So I feel like she really understands what Guts went through while in his astral plane, seeing the mistress enchantment that was placed there to try to help him out. And here's Shirke able to bring Guts back, so he's not all the way feral right now, but he's still going to take down the apostles. Look, right as this one advances on Casca and Farnese, and again, Farnese continually sacrificing her own life protecting Casca, which kind of makes her a better person, more selfless. Guts respects her, and look, wearing the Berserker armor in just one battle has already taken its toll on him, giving him a gray patch of hair. The mistress helping Shirke from beyond the astral plane here. And after that battle, we're starting to see like the more human side interacting now with the Kushan and Ganishka's empire. Ganishka has apostles all throughout this village as well. Half man, half crocodiles, half man, half elephants. So this is where like all the humans are starting to see all the crazy stuff that's going around. Now this is a big clash now. Griffith's army versus the Kushan. Here's the Kushan as we saw before with those two big mercenaries. And then we have Emperor Ganishka. And he's like the opposite of Griffith, I guess. I mean, I guess they're apostle rivals in a sense. But Ganishka doesn't roll with the God Hand. He just wants to rule this kingdom and rule Earth. He actually has the princess captive from earlier, the one that the one that Griffith slept with, and she's been over here trying to call Griffith back to save her. The Emperor wants to do basically what Griffith wanted to do, impregnate her or marry her to really have title to the kingdom. She's been sowing these Griffith things the whole time. Here's where we start to see, I guess, Ganishka is really an apostle. And then we have the beginning of the battle from the Band of the Hawk versus the Kushan. Demons versus demons. Let them face the Daka. So the Daka are those red demons that we saw in the poster. These guys. It's actually on the Prime 1 Berserker armor gut statue as well. So they show in this volume how they farm and create the Daka, which is disturbing. I can't even show it either. I guess I could show this part, but basically like this unholy act of creating the Daka. But they're basically bred to fight and be a part of the army. And then we have the Lancer. Is it Lucas? Is he the Lancer? He goes into apostle form here. And then another big battle. I'm telling you, this is an epic Deluxe Edition with these 3 volumes. Ganishka kind of showing his full power here, him going into apostle mode. And he's kind of like made of like lightning or something, it looks like. But what's funny is Lucas is like, are you sure about that? And then you can kind of see just a little glimpse of Nosferatu Zod flying in the air, and you know he's toting Griffith. But first, Griffith's got to go back and save his girl. So that's what happens at the end here. Griffith returns to the princess. The act that kind of put all this stuff into motion, which was really the beginning of his downfall. But now he's back, better than ever, ready to save his girl. And while Ganishka's back is turned, Nosferatu Zod and Griffith rip her out of her bedroom, on her bed here, to save her, fly her away, and Ganishka is pissed. Nice times when you can see Guts and crew not going through something terrible. Seeing Casca smile, which is a rare sight for him. And now basically the crew is ready to make their trek to Elfhelm, hopefully where they can rest peacefully from then on. Alright guys, there we go. I told you, man, epic stuff. I really appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, make sure to be subscribed, hit the notification bell, leave a like, leave a comment, and get ready for the next one. Stay minty fresh. Peace.